Joining us now is Senator Tom Cotton. Senator, this got out of control, and it really goes back to the president. The president's rhetoric and him offering this idea to Major League Baseball, they took him up on it.
Hey, Brian, good to be on with you. Good to see you at night for once. Yeah, a lot of this goes back to Joe Biden's press conference last week in which he used inflammatory, incendiary, and outright wrong language about this Georgia bill, calling it Jim Crow 2.0. I guess he forgot to check with the laws in his own state, which doesn't have any early voting and has many fewer drop boxes than does Delaware. And then he said that Major League Baseball should pull their All-Star game out of Atlanta, and that's exactly what the cowardly Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball's commissioner, did. Yet, as you pointed out, in many ways, Georgia laws are more accessible, more friendly, more convenient to voters than are Colorado's laws. And you could play this game all around the country because we have 50 different election law systems. And that's fine. That's why our founding fathers designed it. What we shouldn't have is the President of the United States lying, using racist, inflammatory language about the Georgia law, or major corporation taking sides in a heated political dispute, especially when they don't have the basic facts at hand.
Stacey Abrams panicked, it seems, and she's like, well, I don't want you to boycott. I just called it, called it Jim Crow 2.0, but I want you to boycott. And then this morning I was on with the COO, the Secretary of State. They got up to find out there have been 8,000 hotel reservations canceled. They expect to lose $100 million. And this is a city in Atlanta that is 51% black. Denver's 9% black. So who are you trying to help and who are you trying to hurt? Today, Jen Psaki talked about the boycott today in her meetings with the press. Let's listen.
This is much bigger than Georgia, that Georgia was just one of the first states to act on a concerted effort to use easily disprovable conspiracy theories to fuel their attempts to make it even harder for eligible Americans to vote. This is something we are seeing a prevalence of this, a pattern around the country of, an effort to make it more difficult to vote.
Senator, what's the big picture here? I mean, is she urging these boycotts? She's trying to bring attention to 30 states who are trying to rein in the non-pandemic voting rules because we want to restart. Hopefully this virus is in the rearview mirror.
Well, I tell you, if this is the standard we're going to apply, Brian, I bet Joe Biden, his paid mouthpiece, is going to have to condemn New York and start demanding boycotts in New York State. They have fewer early voting days than does Georgia now, almost half as few. And they haven't ever had drop boxes. Again, you can play this game with every single state. What Georgia has done is made their voting system more streamlined and efficient, making it convenient and accessible for voters, but also safe and secure to give voters confidence. Remember, it was not just on November 3rd when Georgia had problems last year. In their primary last summer, when Donald Trump was unopposed in our primary, you had people waiting in line for hours. What they did in Georgia is designed to streamline their election laws and make it more efficient. But Joe Biden goes out and uses racially charged, incendiary accusations with no basis in fact. His paid mouthpieces repeat that. Stacey Abrams, as you point out, played with fire, and now Georgia's gotten burned because of her lies about this law that Joe Biden then parroted. Georgia is going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars of economic activity and probably lots of jobs as well. And I suspect that the voters in Georgia are going to keep that in mind. And Brian, as you pointed out at the beginning of the segment, in spite of all that, in spite of all of the lies from Democratic politicians and cheerleading from their liberal media, a majority of the American people still support the Georgia law. Just like large supermajorities support things like requiring photo identification when you go to vote. These are common sense principles that are designed to make voting safe, secure, accessible, and convenient.
7 out of every 10 Americans believe that ID is something you should be asking for when it comes to vote. Last, the thing I worry about most, Senator, is regardless of how this election comes out, if you're a Democrat and if you lose a Senate seat, if you lose the governor's seat, and if it goes to a Republican, they're going to say they cheated. And it goes back to, I don't believe the election results. That's disastrous for the country. Final thought?
Well, the worst offender there is Stacey Abrams, who, to my knowledge, still to this day has not conceded that she lost the 2018 governor's race to Brian Kemp.
She has not acknowledged it. Senator Tom Cotton, thanks so much. Truly appreciate it. Always like the fact that you're at the tip of the spear with all these controversial topics. Appreciate it.
Great. Thanks, Brian.